So what you were supposed to do is just the level 1 side of the story, right? So Rafa, Nasab, Jar, Rafa, Nasab, Jar. And you just had to look at these words and find out if it is Rafa, it is Nasab, or it is Jar. And just write R, N, or J in the box above. And you all know Rafa means someone who does something, a doer of an action. Nasab is a detail about that action. And Jar is showing some sort of possession. At this point, this is what you know. When we go ahead, inshallah, in the more advanced study, I will break many rules that I'm telling you now, right? But at this point, this is what you know, and this is how you should understand it. Okay. Now, if let's see what we have in the first ayah. La Rasulu. What do you think would be the status of this? Rafa, Nasab, or Jar?
Rafa.
It's
Rafa.
Rafa because it ends with a U sound, right?
Yeah.
The word Allahi.
Jar.
Jar.
Jar. Excellent. The word Allahu.
Rafa.
Rafa. The word Rasulu.
Rafa.
Rafa. The word Allahu.
Rafa.
Rafa. Excellent. Okay. Aymana.
Nasab.
Nasab.
Nasab. Junnatan.
Nasab.
Nasab. Sabili.
Jar.
Jar. The word Allahi.
Jar.
Jar. So for those, I think that's pretty simple exercise you need to do. So I'll pause here. Maybe for those who have completed it, great. For those who haven't, let's try to achieve it, inshallah, by the next class. And today we are going to do something that will allow you, inshallah, to do level 2 as well. Okay, so maybe you can then combine the remaining of this exercise with the level 2. So level 1 is very simple. And so is level 2, but there's a little bit of learning you still need to do on that front. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good, inshallah. Excellent. So what I'll do is I'll now move back to my document. So what you know so far is the following. So you know Rafa. You are now PhDs in Rafa. You know Nasab. You've done PhDs in Nasab, and you are now Jar. You have PhDs in Nafar. You can write theses and books about Rafa Nasab Jar, right? So that's where you stand today. So that's excellent. It's a great achievement. You did not know that a few weeks ago. Now you know, right? And now you can teach, right? So that's a fantastic achievement. So what you do know at this point, by the way, is a word Muslimun. And you have the ability to translate this word Muslimun. This word Muslimun actually means a Muslim. A Muslim. You're talking about one Muslim, and you're talking about a Muslim man. You're not talking about a Muslim woman. That's what it effectively means. What you do not know is how to say two Muslims or many Muslims. You still do not know that. Right?
फरहान भी जरा म्यूट कर दीजिए शायद आपकी तरफ से डिस्टॉर्शन आ रही है या सर हमें आ रही है सिर्फ मे बी फरहान भाई आपकी तरफ से जज़ाकल्लाह.
So you still need to know how do you say two Muslims or many Muslims. Regardless if I say Muslimun, Muslimun, Musliman, or Muslimin, it really doesn't matter. You're still saying one Muslim. You're still saying one Muslim in this case. So if I say Muslimin, it's still one Muslim. If I say Musliman, it's still one Muslim. Okay, but the status is different. That's what you know right now. So we are going to move from this point and start to talk a little bit more about the other side of the story. So you need to understand one thing in Arabic. Arabic is little different from English when it comes to plurals. So what you have learned so far is singular. Okay, that's what you know. Okay, in Arabic, you don't have just singular and plural. You have singular and then you have a pair. Two Muslims, and then you have plural. That's what you have. Okay, and what you have done so far is this part. Muslimun. This is what you have done. You have done it for Rafa. You've done it for Nasab, like this, and you have done it for Jar. Right? This is what you have done. And you can now say Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. If I give you any word, if I say Masjidun, you can tell me what status it is. If I say Khalidun, you can tell me what status it is. It maps to the singular part. You're talking about a Muslim, right? Now, all of that part that you have done so far is called ending sound. Keep this term in your mind. Ending sound. Okay. Why does it call ending sound? Because you're effectively looking at the ending sound of this letter. It's one letter and you're actually looking for its ending sound. That's why it's called an ending sound. Mun and man and min and so on, like that. It's not a combination of letters, just the last letter, right? Single letter. And the entire language in the singular side is driven by the ending sound of that particular letter. You know that you can also, of course, call it Muslimu or Muslima or Muslimi. That doesn't change the status of the Muslim. Okay. Now, what we want to do is understand how do you use that for pairs, because it's quite widely used in the Quran. And I'll give you some examples. Once I've explained this to you, we'll go to Quran, inshallah, and we'll try to find some examples. The plurals, the pairs, and the singulars, they're quite widely used in the Quran. Okay. So the main word is Muslim. That's what you know. Nothing is there. Until this point, there is nothing that changes. In the singular part, what you did, you just put the un, and in sounds on the last letter, right? In the case of pair, ending sound is no longer possible because it's actually occupied by the singular. Singular says, I'm not going to let go of ending sound. Find some other way to call two Muslims, right? So what Muslim does is, okay, fine, I'm going to make friends with two letters. Two letters. One letter is alif and the other letter is noon. Okay. In case of Rafa, one letter is alif and the other letter is noon, and they say Muslimani. So what you're effectively looking at, you're actually adding two additional letters in the end of the main word Muslim, and it is becoming Muslimani. So whenever you see an ani ending, you're talking about something two. If I want to say two masjids, how would I say two masjids? Let's see. Two masjids.
Majidani.
Masjidani. All you're doing is taking the same word, but adding a combination in the end. Ani ending. Right? So any word, alimani is two alims, for example. So that's the concept which is called ending combination. Yes.
One question. Is this two page or is this tanween on me or is it only page on me? Muslimani or mus? Will it come
Sorry.
to?
This is a typo.
Okay.
This is a typo. Wait a second. I made a mistake here. Thanks
No,
for spotting. Musliman.
and there is no rule that the ending sound of singular, right, will go on the first alphabet of the when we are talking about two pair, right? It's not just a typo.
So I don't understand. No. This is not the rule that this tanween is going to be the first on this one. No, that was just a typo, my mistake, right? So it's going to be always single haraka on the meme in the beginning. Always. It's going to be Muslim. Otherwise, you can't read Muslimani, you can't read it really, right? It's unreadable, right? So you're looking at the ending combinations here. And it's called combinations because it's made up of combinations, two different letters coming together and giving you that sound.
Dr. Talha, what did you mean that to make a pair, do we need to apply the rule of tanween, like Muslimanin, or ye Muslim ani rega for two?
No, it will never be anin. It will never be this. It will always and always and always be ani. This is fixed. It's not going to change.
It's fixed. Okay. Clear.
Yes, it's always ani ending we're talking about. Okay. So this Muslim, this is where we are talking about two Muslims in Rafa. Let me do another thing to this table so you understand that better. Insert rows to the right. So what I'm going to do is Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. That's what we are talking about. Okay, and these are the status. So everything I'm going to write in this row is going to be rafa. Everything on this row is going to be nasab, and everything on this row is going to be jar. And the way you will remember this table in your mind is vertical. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani. That's how you will remember this. Exactly, that's how you will remember this. Don't go horizontal, Muslimun, Muslimani, and so on. Just go vertical. Because you want to remember rafa, nasab, jar, and then Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin. That's how it will make things easy for you. And the ability you need to build is in your mind, you need to map the word to this matrix and find out what the status is. And it's very simple. In the next class, inshallah, you will be PhDs in this table as well. Don't worry. I'll give you many PhDs. Don't worry. Okay, so is this clear so far? Clear. So what I want you to do is go back to your kindergarten, open up your mics, you know the drill, right? And we are going to read through it, looking at it until Muslimani 3 times, right? We're going to read through it until Muslimani 3 times. Chalo,
Muslimun,
unmuted. Muslimun,
Musliman,
Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani.
Muslimani. Good. And when you are reading that, you have in mind the status on the right side, right? So when you're saying Muslimun, you're mapping it to Rafa. When you're saying Muslimani, you're also mapping it to Rafa, right? That's what you're doing in your mind. Now, who can do this now?
I can. Muslimun, Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani.
Correct, correct. Excellent, excellent. Any other volunteers? I'll just take 2.
I can go. Muslimun,
Okay.
Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani.
Mustafa bhai, your memorization is mashallah very, very good. I've noticed.
Thank you.
Are you sitting closely with Tala these days? Because I know Tala has been super good in memorizing from the school
Yes.
times.
Very close.
यानी रटे की बात कर रहे हैं.
अरे सर, अरे
भाई हम क्या सुन रहे हैं?
Memorizing better. Word बता दिए वैसे.
I think we should have a dedicated session on secrets. Okay? And expose everybody. WikiLeaks. Yeah?
Tala was so good when the teachers said to Tala, okay, tell me the answer. So Tala used to, जब खड़े सीट से खड़े होते ही जो है ना सब जवाब बताते.
Tala, mashallah, has a very good brain and he can retain information a lot.
That's called retro dote. I think with passage of time.
That's called brilliance as well. All right. So now let's talk about nasab. Okay. In nasab, the Rafa says, hey, I've made friends with Alif and Noon, so I can't give that to you, right? Find some other person, right? So this nasab Muslim goes to different letters and say, can you make friends with me? How should I show my status to you? So he makes friends with 2. With the one is Ya, and the other is Noon again. Okay, one is Ya, and the other is Noon. And the way it makes this combination is like this. The Noon doesn't change. The Noon is same. Noon actually gives the idea to Muslim. Why don't you bring Ya? It's a good friend of mine. I'll stay here, but we'll still be different, right? So it becomes Muslimaini. What does it become? Muslimaini. In this case, you are looking at a combination of Ya and Noon, and you're still talking about 2 Muslims, but now a nasab status, right? Not the Rafa status. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini. Okay? So if I'm telling you Masjidaini, I'm talking about 2 masjids, but I'm talking in a nasab status. That's what I'm talking about. Questions?
Father, is it Muslimini or Muslimaini?
Did I do a typo again? Okay. You're right. Thank you for spotting. Muslimaini. Muslimaini. Right? Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini. Now let's do the same drill again 3 times.
1 minute, guys. Just a question. ये मुस्लिमाइनी है या माइना होगा? क्योंकि पुराने ज़माने में
Maini. It's Maini. It's Maini. It's Maini. Okay, Muslimaini.
फरहान, इसका सिंगुलर स्टेट से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है।
No.
जो मुस्लिमान रूल जो है ना, उससे कोई ताल्लुक नहीं है। अगर उस पे दो ज़बर है तो यहाँ पे दो ज़ेद, इससे कोई वो नहीं है। लास्ट एंडिंग साउंड, जस्ट रिमेंबर द लास्ट एंडिंग साउंड।
Okay.
Yes, it has nothing to do with the singular side. Just remember, Tala and everyone, let's speak English. Uncle is here. Yeah, so we want to keep it to English. So it has nothing to do with the singular side of the story.
Okay.
Singular is a different tribe. Yeah, the pair is a different tribe and the plural is a different tribe. So they keep separate. And there is no derivation you can actually do from the singular. The only derivation that remains common across is the word Muslim itself. It's either the sound that changes or the combination that changes in the end. But the main word remains the same. Right? So this one is Muslimaini. So I want the same drill again, guys. I need noise. Right? So let's read through it. And then I'm going to take 2 volunteers again to just recite without looking at it. चले बिस्मिल्लाह मुस्लिमोन मुस्लिमान
मुस्लिमान मुस्लिमीन मुस्लिमानी मुस्लिमैनी
मुस्लिमानी मुस्लिमैन
मुस्लिमोन मुस्लिमान मुस्लिमीन मुस्लिमानी मुस्लिमैनी मुस्लिमोन मुस्लिमान मुस्लिमीन मुस्लिमानी मुस्लिमैनी.
Excellent, excellent. I hope you all were reading because I could only hear Waqas bhai.
उनके सामने हर एक की आवाज बंद हो जाती है सर. Okay.
Right. So okay, who is the first volunteer? Cannot be Waqas bhai or who said last time Mustafa bhai. Maybe try someone else. Huh? Tala, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Now it's okay. Yes.
Okay. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini.
Excellent. Number 2, second one. Who wants to go next?
Me. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini.
Excellent, excellent. Zabardast. I have a good news for you. The Rafa and the Nasab and Jar are dear friends. They say, okay, I don't fight with you. I'll just keep the same. Okay, so you don't have to memorize a new word anymore. So it's the same. So if you have memorized up to Nasab, you have actually memorized up to Jar. Right? So it's Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini. Right? So now, usually students ask, Ustad, how would I know what is Nasab and what is Jar? Stop here. You're not there yet. All right. So we'll go there, inshallah. Okay. So I'll tell you. Sometimes you will have to look at words around this word to find out if it is Nasab or Jar. Okay. At this point, you just need to recognize. When I give you a word like this with an any ending, then you're telling me it's either Nasab or Jar. Because you can't tell me it's Nasab for sure or Jar for sure at this point. Right? So this is just the recognition exercise right now we are doing. Okay? So Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimani. Clear so far? Any questions? Any troubles? It's pretty simple actually. Yeah? Shall I move on? Good. Right. Plural. What does it mean to be plural in Arabic language? In plural, you are talking about 3 or more Muslims. 3 or more Muslims, right? You're not talking about 2 because there is pair for that, right? And plural is also, recognized through ending combination, just like the pair. Ending combination. Okay, and inshallah, once we have done these 3, you will already start to find many words in the Quran that you already know, but you didn't know if they were plurals or pairs or singulars, right? So in case of this one, the main word remains the same. The main word remains the same, just like that, Muslim. And then Noon is a friend to everybody. Noon says, I'm going to stay, no problem. But now Alif is used and Ya is used. Okay, what else can you do, Muslim, to make me different? Right? So Noon goes there and says, okay, I have another friend. He doesn't mind to be Rafa. So maybe let me call him. And that friend is Wow. Right? That friend is Wow. And Noon stays. But this time Noon takes the Fatha. This time Noon takes the Fatha. Okay, and because after the meme you have a wow sound which is similar to oo sound, therefore you put an oo sound here. Right? It becomes muslimuna, una ending. You're talking about muslimuna ending. Now, if I ask you to recite this word, for example, try to read this word, you will struggle, right? Doesn't make sense. And for Arabs, it's super important that their language sounds very, very smooth and good. Muslimuna doesn't make any sense. Even Muslimauna also won't make sense. The most smoothest version is the Muslimuna, right? That's how they want their language to sound like. Right, so many times wow is actually also in advanced studies we'll learn inshallah. Wow is also used to recognize rafa in some special types of isms. So in this case, when you're talking Muslimuna, you're talking about 3 or more Muslims. It could be thousands and millions, or it could be just 3, but it can't be less than 3. Okay, is that clear? So let's do the same drill. Let's read it 3 times up to Muslimuna, and then 2 volunteers. Inshallah. So Bismillah.
Right.
Yes, let's first read 3 times. Let's first read 3 times together, and then we'll do the volunteer thing. Okay? Go ahead, Mustafa. You can start.
Muslimun, Muslimin, Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimini, Muslimini.
No, Muslimaini.
Muslimaini. Muslimaini, Muslimaini.
Muslimuna.
Muslimuna. So I don't hear anybody else. Unmute your mic, guys. You're in a kindergarten right now.
Muslimun,
Musliman,
Musliman,
Muslimin,
Muslimin,
telling you what are you
Muslimani,
doing? I don't
Muslimaini,
just
Muslimuna,
Muslimun,
Musliman,
Musliman,
Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimun.
Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna.
correct. Why is it necessary that we have to read it out? Not just for memorization. Arabic language is driven by the sounds. The recognition happens through the sounds, and you can't, you can of course look at it, but you also have to hear it out and understand what is it is talking about. Is it singular, or is it plural, or is it pair, for example? Okay. If I tell you, for example, marajal bahraini yaltaqiyan, you might have read that in Surah Rahman, right? Marajal bahraini. Where does it map? Which
Pair.
ending is it? Huh?
Pair.
Pair. Pair. How many C's Allah is talking about?
2 C's.
2 C's. 2 C's. And you did not recognize it after looking. You did recognize it after hearing the sound, right? That combination you looked for. That's why it's important for you to read it out loud for yourself, so your ears and mind gets acquainted with the language. Okay. Right. Good. Volunteers. That's my favorite part. Who is remaining? Farhan and Umar bhai, sorry, you are remaining. And you know we don't shy away from making mistakes. Let's go ahead.
I'll go first. Muslimu, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimin, Muslimaini, Muslimuna.
Okay, Umar bhai.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimuni, Muslimaini, Muslimuna.
Correct. Muslimuna. Good. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimuna. Okay. So your assignment for next week, you know what it is, right? You know what you need to do. You need to, of course, memorize it, but you need to send me your voice recordings, and I want this chart to be said out in less than 3 seconds. In less than 3 seconds. Okay. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. That's how I want you to do it. Okay. So if this is what's in your brain, then inshallah you're mapping everything perfectly, and it's not difficult. Okay. Now let's talk about the nasab versions. Just 2 remaining. Okay. In this case, nasab of pair and nasab of plural are friends. Okay. They say, okay, we're gonna look like same, but we're gonna read different. We're going to look like same, but we're going to read different. And the way we read different is what we are going to do is instead of saying Muslimaini, I'm going to call myself Muslimina, and Noon is going to take the fatha. Okay, Muslimina. When you are looking at Muslimina, you're looking at multiple Muslims, more than three or more than three, but in nasab form. Okay, who can tell me what's the good news?
Nasab and jar are same for plural as well.
Exactly. Now you're getting it, right? Nasab and jar are same. So effectively, how many ending combinations you're memorizing? Ani, una, aini, ina. 4. Effectively, right? Sounds, you're already PhDs on that. Okay? You can get degrees from me whenever you like. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Again, let's do this, inshallah, read out loud, and then we'll do the combined one by one exercise of doing it without looking at it. Okay, so we are all here to learn. Mistakes are absolutely halal and permissible. No problem there. So you can make those mistakes. Let's read it out together, inshallah, 5 times this time. Okay. Unmute your mic. Let's do it together. Bismillah.
Musliman, Musliman.
Muslimun,
Musliman,
Muslimin,
Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
Muslimun,
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin,
Musliman,
Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina. One more time. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
Muslimina.
Correct, correct. Simple? Yes?
Very simple.
Inshallah, it will be this. Okay, I mean, just like Rafa Nasab Jar now, it's simple. It was not simple in the first class, right? So now it is simple. This is going to be simple few hours from now, inshallah. Okay, so let's try. Let's try. Anyone? 3 volunteers. Yeah. Tala, maybe you can start. Then we'll go. I've seen 3 hands. Tala, Waqas bhai and Shams bhai. Let's go that way.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
I have just proven my point. Tala's mind is, mashallah, brilliant. Yes, let me take you back to my statement. So I still stand by my statement. Tala is, mashallah, great. Ji, Waqas bhai.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
You have proven to be a big Waqas bhai. Excellent. Zabardast job. Shams bhai.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
Impressive, impressive. Very, very good. Everyone else, anyone wants to volunteer and do it? Otherwise, I'll move forward.
Yes.
Umar bhai, Farhan or Mustafa.
Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimani, Muslimaini, Muslimaini, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimina.
Excellent, excellent. Zabardast. Anyone else? No? Okay, it's okay. No problem. Okay, so this is what you have done, and this is what you have to memorize firmly. Okay, so once you memorize this firmly, inshallah, things are going to be very, very different for you. Okay. Now let me take an example from the
Just
Quran.
one thing. I was looking
Yes.
at the coursework as well. So
Mhm.
I thought it would be good to add this table into that PDF as well. It's a good one.
Don't worry, I'll send you all of that.
No, but yeah, but it's a good one because you have given some examples, but this gives really good, perspective.
I'll
Put it
send
in-
this. I'll send this to you after
Perfect.
the class. Okay.
Thanks.
So you can put it in the coursework. Let me highlight this as well in red, so it's consistent. Okay. So now you know the difference between ending sounds and ending combinations. Ending sound is about one letter making the sound. Ending combination is about 2 letters coming together and producing a sound. But it's effectively about the sound in the end. Okay. Now, let me insert an example from the Quran here. So let's do it. I'll just randomly pick up a surah. I don't know which surah, but let's randomly pick up one. So randomly pick up some ayahs. Let's say we take the first 15 ayahs and we just insert it. Okay, let's see how far we are. Okay. Right. So let's see what we have here. Mu'minina. Rafa nasab jar.
Plural
Ina,
with Avenger.
ina ending. Huh?
Between nasab and jar.
Yeah.
3 nasab and jar. Correct. 3 nasab and jar. I know I'm missing out these ones, but because these are not isms and you can't recognize them yet. So I'm looking for an ism. Okay. Al-akhsaruna.
Rafa, plural, 3 plus.
Plural rafa. Everyone sees that? Right? Okay. Let me just al-alamina.
Nasab or jar with 3 plus.
With 3 plus. Correct.
Nasab and jar plural.
Correct. Nasab and jar plural. Al-mursaluna.
Nasab plural.
Rafa होना चाहिए,
Rafa.
Rafa.
Is it-
Sorry, Rafa.
Rafa. It's
Rafa,
plural
Rafa
rafa.
plural.
Plural rafa. Okay. Fasiqina.
Plural. Nasab jar.
Plural.
Nasab and jar
Nasab jar.
plural.
Correct. You get the point, right? So it's going to open up many things for you. Okay, inshallah. So let me take this one step forward. Okay. So pick up a Quran and try to find these things. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this same thing here. Oops. Oh, is it doing? Copy and paste here. Okay. Right. So what we have done here is a masculine form of this chart. Okay. The one above is a masculine form of that. Oops. Masculine chart. The one above is the masculine chart. I normally call it a Muslim chart. That's how we will recognize it. Muslim chart for masculine. Now, remember one thing. So this column, on the plural column of the masculine Muslim chart, is only used for intelligent beings. Whenever you see una, ina endings in the Quran, it's either talking about people, angels, or jinns. It's never going to be never going to talk about skies or heavens or Jahannam or Jannah. Those are not intelligent beings. When by intelligent we mean the creations of Allah that has intelligence in them, right? So and the Quran categorizes it in three categories: the humans and the angels and the jinns. Okay, so this is only valid for those. It is also not valid for feminine. It's only talking about men Muslims, or it is talking about a mixed group of Muslims. If they're men and women, you also use these forms: Muslimuna, Muslimina, and Muslimina. Yes, Tara.
For when we talk about Alameen, like Allah talk about galaxies and talk about the universe and these things, then it also uses the word
Ina ending. Yes.
this is
Correct. So it's a good point. Let me take you there. Let me answer it a bit more comprehensively. So you're talking about Surah Fatiha, and you're talking about first ayah. Not the first ayah only. This is the Bismillah. Second one. You're talking about the second ayah, 1 to 2 ayahs. Okay, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about this word. And if you look at this word has ina ending. And this word is generally translated as the worlds. Worlds. Alam. Alam is worlds. Okay. Let me tell you another thing. So the original word is alam. Alamun, which is world. Okay. And then from there, you make the word alamina, which generally is translated as worlds. But actually the word of the plural of the word al-alam is awalim. It's awalim. That's the real plural. That's actually called worlds. So what does this mean, alamina? Generally, people tend to translate it in assuming that there are multiple worlds and planets and galaxies out there. What effectively that means is the following. Imagine you are you visit different countries. You visit Malaysia, and then you visit whatever Australia. Then you come to England if you're unlucky. Then you are going to let's say go to China. You go to different countries, and each country they have their own culture, traditions, norms, values, etc. Right? Every country has their own. Every country. So what effectively is they live in their own world. They live in their own world. Right? It's their own world. That's a metaphorical way of saying worlds. It's not literally saying it's a different world as in a different planet. Right? It's a metaphorical expression of saying it's a different culture, tradition, norms, ways of living, food, everything. It's their own social circle that they live into. So this particular ayah, the more accurate translation, or rather tafsir of this ayah, says that Allah is the Rabb of Alameen, meaning all types of tribes and the countries and the peoples and the traditions and all types of creations like angels and the jinns and animals. All of these creations live in their own world. So ocean is in itself an entire world of its own. Right? The animal kingdom is another world of its own. And the countries are other examples, for example. That's what this Alameen actually refer to. And yes, it is plural because there's so many out there. Right? That's effectively one of the opinions of how this is translated. Otherwise, it would have been Awalim, which actually means physical planets and physical galaxies out there. Right? Does that answer your question, Talal?
I have lots of questions related to this because I read in different and listened to different tafsir as well. Yes. But we'll talk about it when you will come here. I get your point.
Yes, and of course, different scholars have different opinions on this, and they can be translated and decoded in very, very different ways. From grammatical perspective, it is a plural, absolutely. From the language perspective, yes, Farhan.
You are saying that Maina Alimina, it's a superset, and the other one was the subset, right?
What is superset and what is subset?
I mean, this is you said previously Ali. What is the plural of Alimina? And what you wrote previously was the plural of
Awamil.
Awalim.
Awamil.
That's what I wrote. Awalim. Awalim is a plural that actually means worlds. Worlds as in physical worlds. The planets and stuff. That's effectively is the word that is generally used for plurals of saying worlds. Alamina is one of the opinions that I have come to understand is about referring to the different tribes. Allah says in the Quran, I've put you on this earth in different tribes and different cultures so you can understand each other better. Right? So that effectively refers to that part of the story. But of course, different scholars may have different opinions. I'm not saying which opinion is right and wrong. I'm just communicating what I have understood to be more convincing from my perspective. Right? So of course, listen to different tafasir, and maybe the right people should be guiding what effectively it actually means in terms of the fiqh meaning of the real meaning from tafsir perspective, right? But from grammatical perspective, it is plural. Okay, and this is not superset Farhan, this is plural. Okay, it is a different kind of plural. It's called a broken plural. We'll do that inshallah later on. But right now, let's focus on the ending combinations one. Okay.
For just one question, sorry for again.
Yes.
Just a question pops up in mind. We talk about like Qur'anil Hakim, right? Qur'anil is a pair actually then.
No,
in
it's not.
This
No, it's not.
Qur'an,
No,
Muslim.
it's not. It's like, for example, I mean, I didn't want to bring this up, but now that you have brought this up, let me explain. If I write Norman, if I write Norman, it doesn't mean there are two norms, right? Doesn't mean that. It's because in this case, the alif and noon is part of the same original word,
Okay.
right? So you can't say it's two, just like Sultan, for example. It's part of the original word. In case of una ending Fir'aun, it's part of the original word, the una. Same is the case with Quran. The alif and noon are part of the word. You add ending combination in addition to the original word. Right?
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a question pops up in my mind, so I ask.
Of course, it's a good question. Okay, so what I want to do is, I've given you the masculine charts, but if you're going back home and you still haven't done breakfast like me, your wife is not going to be happy if you can't tell her what the feminine version looks like. Okay, so if you want to eat, you need to know what feminine version looks like. Okay, I do need to at least. So what happens is, in this particular case, you actually have the same meme, same word, original word in singular form. Where is the Arabic keyword? Yeah, meme. Okay, and what you do is you ask that meme to wear the hijab. You ask that meme to wear the hijab, and hijab looks like this. Okay, so the singular Muslim is wearing a hijab, which is a ta in the end, and having the same sound. Okay, Muslimatun. This time you're using a sound with ta in the end, and that makes it feminine. Ta is many times used in the Quran to represent something that's feminine. Okay, so Muslimatun. Can you guess what nasab form would be? Can you produce that form for me?
Muslimatan.
Muslimatan. What about the jar form?
Muslimin, Muslimatin.
Muslimatin.
Muslimatin. Sorry, Muslimatin. Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin. If you have done the masculine chart, you have almost automatically done the feminine chart. Okay? You're just putting the ta sound in the end, right? And in this case, it's a closed ta. And previously, Mustafa Bhai asked a question, why is there no alif here? Just like in the case of the previous Musliman, in the feminine version, when you have a ta, this is called a closed ta. In Arabic, it's called ta marbuta. You don't need to remember the terminology. It's a closed ta. Because it's a closed ta, alif does not go syntactically with the closed ta. It only goes with the open ta, the normal ta that we know. Right? So because it's a closed ta, you don't put that alif in the end. Okay, in feminine case. Okay, so if you have learned the Muslim chart masculine, you can produce the Muslim chart feminine easily by putting a ta in there. Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin. That's your feminine chart. Any questions so far? Any confusions? Easy, right? Now, because I've put a ta after meme here in the singular form, what I'm going to do is do exactly the same thing here. Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini. All I'm doing is adding a ta. That's it. Nothing special about that. Okay. So up to all of this point, you're talking about feminine. Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini. Okay, so if you know the first chart, you can produce the second chart with logic at least up to this point. Okay, now your ears must be thinking, oh, what do you mean by at least up to this point? It's not what's changing. Is there something new to memorize? Well,
Yes, exactly our thoughts.
yes. We have to a little bit. So because when ladies are sitting in one place, there's so many things happening, right?
Even
so
in the Quran,
discussing.
yeah, they just introduce the complications.
Okay, disclaimer, you're not showing this recording to any of your wives, please. Okay. No, so what
He's
happens
having his
is
father-in-law with him.
It's broadcasting right now. So
we are aligned.
No, uncle, I'm sure uncle is not going to show this to auntie as well. So
I'm just a UN observer today anyway.
so in
That's-
case of the plural, in case of plural feminine, what they do is they decide, okay, no, we're not going to sound like same. Muslimatuna is not good enough. Muslimataina is not good enough. We don't like that. So what they do is they put an alif next to the rafa, and they use the open tha in the end, just like in the first version, the singular version, and they use the same ending sound there, tun, right? Same ending sound there. So it becomes muslimatun. So when you recite it, if you're saying muslimatun or muslimatun, it's different. If your recitation is wrong, you're talking about singular versus plural. Okay, you change the meaning. So for an Arab, how your Arabic sounds like is very different. So it is still ending combination because this sound is produced in combination of alif and ta, right? Whereas in the first case, it's just the closed ta, right? So the stretch after the meme is very important. So you're going to say muslimatun. And when you're saying muslimatun, it's going to be rafa, multiple women Muslim. Okay, so muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatin, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini, muslimatun. Right, that's the new thing you need to remember. Let's move on to this one. In case of nasab, it just changes to the tanween below, the kasra. Muslimatin. Now you can say, when I look at the tha, it's like a thin sound, right? It looks jar. I'm going to label it jar because you told me it's in or e sound for jar, right? Yes, I did, but I told you for the ending sound, not for the ending combination. In this case, you're not only looking at the tha, you're looking at the alif before it too, right? So you're looking at a combined sound, thin sound, not thin sound alone, right? Have you read in the Quran, khalaqa samawati wal ard? Samawati, right? Samawat in sound is actually the same sound. It's skies. The skies are non-human and they fall into the feminine space in Quran. We'll do that exercise, inshallah. Right? So what you're saying is muslimatun, muslimatin, and what's the good news? Anyone can tell me?
It's same as
It's the same, right? It's the same. Okay.
So Fahad bhai, non-intelligent beings are considered as feminine in Quran,
Yes.
as you just have said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very deep,
wait
very
for a
deep.
dedicated topic on this. But short answer, yes.
This reminds me a verse in Quran is wal muslimuna wal muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat.
Correct.
I can map that ayah on this table.
Exactly. Let me show you one ayah actually. So it's there is one surah called Surah Taghabun. Let me insert the entire surah. It's not too long. Was it this one? No, not what. This was not this one. No, it was not this surah. a second. It was a different surah, sorry. Let me insert it down here. It was Buruj, not Taghabun. Surah Buruj. Buruj. This one. Okay, so I'll insert the entire one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, Allazi lahu mulku samawati. Okay. It couldn't be atin or ati sound. I'll explain that to you, inshallah, in the next class. Look here. Innal lazina fatanul mu'minina. It's nasab or jar in plural, correct? Wal mu'minati. Nasab or jar, plural, but feminine form. Right? For example, salihati, feminine form. Okay. Why is there no double accent here? The double accent is not here because the word al hates tanween. It hates tanween. Doesn't go well together. It's like PTI and PDM. Yeah, it's not going to work. Right? So if you bring al, tanween is going to go away. So what was for example, Muslimun, if I put an al in front of it, al Muslimun, this is a wrong word in Arabic. There is no word al Muslimun. Okay? The word is al Muslimu. Al and tanween never go together. If you find me one word in the Quran where al and tanween go together, inshallah, we're going to Nawabs. Okay? It doesn't work. Just like that, al Muslimatin. Al Muslimatin is going to be wrong. It's going to be al Muslimati.
The golden rule throughout. Dasab, is this rule al and tanween not going together is throughout the Quran?
Yes. It's Arabic language rule, not just Quran.
This Arabic language, yes.
Even beyond Arabic Quran, any standard Arabic language you learn, al and tanween never go together. It's a wrong language. Okay. So that's why whenever you find an al, just like here, as-salihati, you won't have the double accent in the end, but it's still the same thing. Okay. Got it? So in your notes, it's page number 6 that you need to make friends for yourselves. It's page number 6. Let me open it here for you. Page number 6. What you have learned, both of those charts, Mustafa, you were asking, I will share the same file as well, but these are with you anyway. Okay, on page number 6. Okay, so masculine and feminine. Don't worry about the third one. Don't look at it. It's haram. Okay, just worry about the first two, and let's make sure that you are able to memorize this firmly. You have to memorize the first chart and the plural of the feminine. Everything else in the feminine you can produce yourself. Okay, clear?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now what your job is as a homework, of course, is to memorize all of that, but you are also doing the level 2 side of the story here. Okay, in the Surah Munafiqun, let's complete the level 2. You should be able to do that now. Where you will see the ending combinations, ina or ani, where the nasab and jar share the status, just mark it as nasab and jar, N and J. Okay? Because right now you don't know which one exactly it is. And inshallah soon you will. Okay. Any questions?
No, Jazakallah.
Munafiquna is also plural and masculine, right?
Sorry, what? Which one, Farhan?
Munafiquna.
Munafiquna. Exactly. Al Munafiquna is plural masculine.
Rafa.
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 Yes. And it is, you see, there's another good point I think I should tell you. This is Al Munafiquna. The tanween, the tanween goes away, the double accent goes away when you put al before the word, right? Sound goes away. But in this case, there was no tanween, so you don't need to remove anything. You can still put an al before it, right? Al munafiquna, it remains the same. But if it was if it was munafiqun, then you would say al munafiqu. You get the point? Yeah. So in ending combination, you will not change until there is a tanween. In feminine ending combinations, you will change. You will change all of these to al muslimatu, al muslimati, al muslimati, if there is an al before it. All right. Okay. Good. So
Yeah.
the whole. Gee, sorry, Kazbek.
नहीं ठीक है, नहीं जाकला है डॉक्टर।
Okay. So the homework is memorize this. You have to send me the recordings. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to send me the recordings on WhatsApp, and the recording has to go like this: Muslimun, Musliman, Musliman, Muslimani, 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 Muslimuna, Muslimuna, Muslimina, Muslimatun, Muslimatan, Muslimatin, Muslimatani, Muslimataini, Muslimataini, Muslimatun, Muslimatin, Muslimatin. Okay. You have to break my record of 3 seconds. Okay. For both charts.
3 hours, like 3 seconds each, yeah, not the full.
So let's see. Let's do a speed challenge. Let's see who does fast. Huh?
You
So-
can do 1x or 2x in the WhatsApp. No.
Look, guys, I mean, that group is there for us to collaborate, make mistakes, and be funny with each other. It's absolutely fine. Don't shy away from sending your recording. It's not going anywhere. Everyone is keeping things there. It's not being forwarded to someone or some. It's learning Quran. Okay. So it's a reward, inshallah, even if you make mistakes learning Quran. That struggle is going to be rewarded for you. So use that group. Send
So
your
I
recordings.
think an interesting analogy, Fahd. You said it's al is cannot come with tanween. It's same like PDI and PDM. So what about establishment? So what is establishment in Quran? Which is when it's a PDI government, then establishment goes with that, and when it's a noon government, then it goes with that. So
Sabah.
That's the we
Very,
can always
very deep
need to.
question. Let me say Muslim chart is the establishment. You can't move away from it, right? You have to stick with it. There is nothing you can change in that, right? That's what you have to really live with. Okay? Good.
Jazakallah, thank you.
Chale, inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Jazakallah
much.
khair. I'll share the recordings and this file as well. Okay?
thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Alaikum assalam. Nice to meet you all.
Yes. All right. Thanks.